MOSHIMO. Now, this is a band who I think a lot of people in my community have spoken to me about before. They certainly have picked up a lot of success, getting up to 50,000 subscribers. So it's about time that I gave them a little bit of love. And hopefully at the end of this, I'll be pressing the subscribe button. If you enjoy any of the bands we cover on this channel, please do subscribe to them, show them support as well. And hey, if you're on your way and you want to subscribe to this channel too, it's much appreciated. But MOSHIMO, this song, this is the most recent song that's come out. Oh, sorry, 10 months ago. Okay. Well, anyway, it came up in my suggestions and it's called Paparapa. I love that name. I don't know why it's called that, but I love that name. And hopefully by the end of the song, we'll know why it's called Paparapa. Something tells me that well, it's got to come up in the lyrics. Paparapa. Just sounds too musical. Let's go. Let's enjoy this. MOSHIMO. Let's have some fun. There it is. Oh, already going for the tripleted riff. Ooh. Cool and answer as well. There's a lot of rhythmic stuff happening here. Great build up. I love the fact that the title comes up so much in the vocals. It's so funky. That bass line alone is amazing. I love how it's mixing such a punky intensity as well. With this funkiness. That's nice. It had that rock under the surface. Just leading into it now. Yeah, you gotta have a breakdown at the beginning of the last chorus. Japanese law. Here we go. This song can get really ridiculous. That last bit of the vocals there in the chorus, just the way the rhythm keeps changing up and over and over and over and changing. Are we going to get some credits that I can leave on the screen? Or should I just leave it with the logo? Noisy. Oh, it's got to be like the label or something. Okay, let's leave the MOSHIMO logo on the screen because I think they've earned it with that one. That was really interesting. We're definitely getting a subscribe. You're definitely getting a like. Remember to subscribe and like to these bands if you're enjoying it too. And us. Okay, that was a lot to get into. Now, first things first, I loved the fact it was so funky. And as I said, it wasn't just funky because it had this sort of bouncy pace that it maintained throughout. It was all the little plainful sort of counter rhythms that happen. You know, you got that boom, 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 kind of rhythm going on, but there's tripleted bits over the top. And I love the way it keeps on doing those little tripleted rhythms between. It's where you got like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's broken up into 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 those little tripleted, as we call them, breaks in between. There was just occasionally like one instrument would just take advantage of a little tripleted rhythm over the top. Things like that were really great. But there was all these kinds of little stops and starts and bits where, you know, maybe the vocal would go triplet, maybe the guitar would go triplet. And then it was just gorgeous the way that it kept on throwing these little surprises in, and each one worked. Each one felt right. None of them felt too much or like they were derailing the funk of the song, and yet they all felt playful, like you never knew exactly what was going to come next. So it's a great way of breaking up what can sometimes be the monotony of songs that have just kind of got this dancey, funky, sort of stable rhythm. Or stable tempo at least. So yeah, I thought that this was a really clever way to make a funky, dancey sort of song, but make it feel like kinetic and interesting and make it feel really active rather than just a passive kind of bounce. So massive respect for that. I can't even think of another song that, you know, so well done that within a stable time signature as this did right here. So you got that to begin with. You got the paparapa bit anyway, which is like super catchy. Loved that. I thought that was a really cool, like the whole chorus. I still don't know exactly what they were saying, what the point was they were making with paparapa. I don't know what it means, but it worked lyrically. Even if it's just a sound, it worked lyrically. It sounded, it just sounded really good. The whole feel of the chorus, it felt like something you could sing along to. I could gladly sing along with them all day long. So that bit was great. But what was really interesting is that for such a funky song, it did have this underpinning of being quite rock. You know, I mean, there was still that chugging guitar underneath. Even when it was heavy, there was a bit of a chugging guitar. And that came through when we went into the bridge, and everything sort of then broke into a much more steady headbang kind of beat. And I thought, that was a really interesting change. If anything, I felt they could have built on that slightly more. Maybe had the solo come in over that beat, so that you got a little bit more break before that, and when it comes back into the final chorus, because I thought that was such an interesting diversion, and it didn't take away. I felt they kept that bit short, almost like they were worried it was going to take away from the energy, but it really didn't. It just sort of converted that sort of fast funk into a much more slow, impactful, but each beat twice as heavy kind of thing. And I thought we could have kept that going twice as long, and then it would have maybe given more energy to going back into the final chorus. But that would be my only minor personal, say, recommendation, personal feeling of what I would have probably done differently. However, just this song is so clever. It's so simple and yet so clever. It takes a very simple idea that works for anyone, a nice, steady, bouncy, funky, danceable, head boppable song, and just adds all the little nuances in the right places and layers it all off with the cherry on the top, which is a nice, catchy chorus. Love the voice, by the way, as well. I thought she had this sort of very fun, playful voice that kind of one of those voices that has a slightly more pop register, but at the same time really works for a rock band. You know, you kind of, her delivery's got that nice little bit of bite to it. That was great. Yeah, the whole band sounded cool. I thought it was really good fun. Really good fun. I'd definitely go for more of this. And it was quite, 3 minutes 37. It felt quite concise. Didn't feel like it dragged on too long. In fact, it felt shorter than 3:37, if I was honest with you. Good stuff. Moshimo. Much respect for that. That was really enjoyable. So anyway, tell me what you think. Get in the comments. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.